Ed Davey, of course, is the Lib Dems conference, which commenced today. Let's listen to how he responded to Nigel Farage's and Reform UK's plans.
Out these Lego models of Nigel Farage, that's him dressed as Donald Trump. I mean, this guy is living rent-free in your brain. He's got 5 MPs, you've got 72. Why are you bothering about it?
Because he's a threat to our country and to our democracy. What he wants to do, and that's why it looks a bit like Donald Trump, is he wants to bring Trump's America to the United Kingdom. I think people who care about British values don't want to be, an adjunct to Trump's America.
Nigel Farage, a threat to the UK.
Well, it's really interesting when you hear people like Ed Davey and basically the political establishment talk about British values. What they mean is open borders, no sovereignty, no say about who gets to come here, infinite amounts of money being taxed from British people to pay for welfare for people from abroad. That's what he refers to when he talks about British values. What we have said today, and we stand by this and we make zero apologies for this, Michelle, migrants who are here must pay their way, they must speak English, and they must not commit crime. If you are doing those things, cool, you're going to get one of our renewable visas. If you do not do those things, then I'm afraid, yes, you will lose your status of ILR. I want to give you a really interesting data point that speaks to, we were having a discussion earlier and you were using the past tense, Barry. We're talking about the Boris wave, the millions of people who are going to become eligible for this ILR status over the coming years, which is why we had to announce this today to avert that £250 billion at least disaster. In 2010, the number of dependents for people who were here on work visas was 0.7. 0.7 dependents for every work visa issued. That number now is 1.2. It's 1.2. And by the way, once they get ILR, they can bring in a hell of a lot more dependents. And the mix of that,
they can't just bring them in.
Yes, they can. There's no cap. There is no cap on ILR. What's the cap on the number of dependents people can bring in on ILR, Barry?
I'm sorry. You can't just bring them in. They have to apply. They have to be able to
And what's the cap?
They have to be able to be accommodated and paid for. So that there has to be a salary level of the sponsor in order to allow them to come to the UK.
And
so this idea that suddenly...
Barry, what's the cap? What's the cap on the number of dependents?
Answer my
Pakistani migrant.
Answer my question.
What is the cap on the
Answer my question.
What's your question?
My question to Zia is, isn't it true that they can't just come in, that they have to actually apply for a visa, be granted that on the basis of what they're going to do in the country, that they're good citizens, that they meet all those requirements, and that they are accommodated, they have accommodation, and that they are supported by their sponsor with enough money to look after them so that they're not onto the welfare state.
No, sorry, which qualifications? So this is an important part of your question. You said all the qualifying requirements.
Their security is cleared.
Right.
But answer the question.
No,
do they need a sponsor?
That's not the case.
Do they need a sponsor?
Yes, well, that's the whole point. That's why they have a dependent. Yes, they have a sponsor. And they are coming here. So why is it then that the majority, of the people who are on Boris...
You completely misled the viewer to say that they can just... Any number can just come in.
I just asked you, what is the limit? I said there is no limit on the number of people who can come here on dependency visas. Tell me what the limit is,
The
Barry.
limit is...
Tell me what the limit... Barry,
I'll tell you if you just shut up for a moment.
I think you need to go and read about your own government's immigration policy.
The limit is the sponsor's ability to pay.
Excuse me. Right.
As a journalist, I always need to remember more in less time. And you know what I really hate? Taking notes. It wastes loads of time and you forget stuff. And that's where Plord comes in. This is the Plord Note, a sleek, pro-level AI note-taker that records and creates notes for you. Whether you're listening to a long podcast, stuck in a meeting, or on an important call, Plord captures everything at the tap of a button. Then it gives you a smart, structured summary with all of the key takeaways. It even recognises different speakers by their voice, and you can choose from bullet points, to-do lists, or even mind maps. Your data's safe too, with end-to-end encryption and global privacy compliance. And with Plord's built-in AI, you can search everything you've ever recorded just by asking a question. It's slim, magnetic, under 30 grams, lasts up to 60 days on standby, and over 1 million people are already using it. Hit the link in the description and use code GB10 for £10 off your Plord order. Save hours of time and never miss a detail again. Link in the description below.
Is there a limit to the number of dependents people can bring?
Yes, it's the sponsor's ability to pay for them, accommodate them, and make sure that they're not a burden on the state.
What is the number?
That is it.
So if I listen to your perspective, Barry, are you suggesting that then there are no foreign nationals claiming welfare then? If you're suggesting that everyone needs to work and people need to support their own kids, and why are there any foreign nationals on benefits then?
No, I'm not suggesting that at all. What we're talking about is people who come to this country under the route that Zia's just suggested.
Yeah.
And we're talking about people who come under ILR. Right? And what I'm suggesting and what I'm...
Barry, people don't come under ILR. Barry, people don't come under. They come under other visas. They apply for indefinite leave to remain. Their status inevitably changes during that period. And that is why I want to reiterate,
and
one in six people, Barry. You know, you can sit here and try to defend a system where already 1 in 6 claimants of universal credit are foreign nationals. And
but they're not on ILR.
That number is going to go bananas over the next few years because of the Boris way.
What are they?
He is conflating.
Barry, I don't even know where to start. You need to educate yourself on your own immigration policy.
Hold on, you two, because the viewers at home, they don't know what's going on. They're just trying to figure it all out. So if there's 1 in 6 people on universal credit of foreign nationals, that's Reform's figure. Who are these people?
Zia is confusing ILR, people who are here on ILR, with those people, those 1 in 6 that he's mentioned who are foreign nationals, right?
But that doesn't
because
say this.
If you qualify for ILR, you've been in the country, you've either been on a work visa or on a student visa, but you've been here for a minimum of 5, and the government has now said it will be increasing that to 10 years, and you have to have good standing in the country, not to have committed crimes, and you have to make sure that you are able to be in work during that period, and not to have left the country for more than 2 years.
Do you think there should be any
period.
scenario where someone that's not a British citizen or not born in this country can just choose to live off benefits paid for by British taxpayers?
There may be some, yes.
Why?
Well,
that is people would deem that very, very unfair.
No, I don't think they would, because if somebody, for example, has fought for this country, let's say in Afghanistan, has been part of our troops in Afghanistan, and they come here and they're seeking refuge status from the Taliban, and they're here, they've helped our troops over there, and they are injured and not able to work, then actually I do believe that
That's
do have...
quite a niche,
you asked if there was any instances, and I said, yes, I do think there are some instances.
I just can't get to the bottom of this claim, because you do separate it out, actually. You talk about indefinite leave to remain, and then you go on to separately say that 1 in 6 people on universal credit are foreign nationals. I'm trying to get to the bottom of how have we got a country where British taxpayers are paying for 1 in 6 recipient of universal credit to be a foreign national. Because I can't ever imagine a scenario where I would rock up at a foreign country and expect the taxpayers of that country.
Again, the implication that Zia was saying is that you do just rock up and claim. No,
that's not. Let me
explain before he interrupts.
Barry, are you saying that 1 in 6 people on universal credit are not foreign nationals?
No. What I'm saying to you, if that's a figure, that's fine. What I'm saying to you is they may be people who've worked in this country for 20 years. Right? They may have contributed to this country for 20 years. And Zia will attest that that's true.
Barry,
you can
just
be
claim
on
that none of those people on ILR. That is nonsense. No. A lot of those people on ILR, the whole point, the reason why we had to announce this policy is because ILR offers you the ability as a foreign national to get unlimited access to our welfare state at the behest of the taxpayer, the people watching this programme, for the rest of your life. This is the problem, Barry.
Because you've contributed, and because you've worked in this country, you've paid tax in this country. You will have had to have done it for 10 years. You can rewind the tape to what you just said about 2 minutes ago, where you said work and you did the sleight of hand or were a student. You started out in this debate claiming you took the position that the only way you got ILR was by working in this country for 5 years. I took you to task for that, and you then corrected the record. You've now flipped back again. I say it again, Barry. I'm sorry. I think you need to educate. I don't
think you're a bad man, but I think you need to
The
educate
government
yourself
website-
on the government's own immigration policy.
Look,
I don't think you understand
all
how
I would urge
catastrophic
people
it is.
to do is
and
to
the
go
people
on
who
the
are watching this
government's
program too,
website.
Barry.
Don't
Go on the
talk
government's
over
website and
each other.
see what it actually says
I welcome people
about
to
the
do
qualifications that you need to get indefinite leave in this country. Right? Because
You just have to have existed in this country for 5 years. You don't need to be working. You don't need to. You do not need to work.
In the UK,
Number one.
you may be able to apply if you have a work visa.
And is that the only route?
You must usually have lived and worked in the UK for 5 years. If you have a Tier 1 visa, it can be 2 or 3 years. If you have and it goes
right,
on.
hang on, because I just want to bring some clarity to this, because you lot at home are probably scratching your head going, what on earth is going on, Michelle? What is the reality? Right, from the horse's mouth, which is the gov.uk's website, let me try and make this clear for everyone. To get indefinite leave to remain, there are multiple different routes, OK? And I'm going to summarise this as best as and quick as I possibly can. Route 1, if you work in the UK, you might be able to apply if you've got a work visa. So yes, if you've got a work visa, you will have lived and worked in the UK for 5 years. That's one route. So Barry is correct on that route. A second route is if you have family in the UK. It doesn't reference on the government's website that you needed to have worked. Route 3.
Sorry, can I just interject there?
It does
also mean that if you have a partner in the UK and you're not a British citizen, it means that they will have to have been able to show that they can sponsor you and can afford for you to be here and accommodate you without recourse to public funds.
Right, well, it doesn't say that on the government website that I'm glancing. Right, Route 3. If you've lived in the UK for 10 years, you might be able to get this indefinite leave to remain. Route 4, if you are a Commonwealth citizen. So there you go. So I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 routes
the
on the
Commonwealth
website.
citizen has to have been living in the UK for 5 years on a UK ancestry visa, which are very few and far between.
People watching this show after what Michelle said can draw their own conclusions. I remember one other point, though. Just the worker point alone is not enough, because here's the really key point, which if you're actually seriously doing this modelling, if you're earning £20,000 a year and you're 25 and you bring in a dependent who isn't working, you are a massive drag for the taxpayer. You cost the taxpayer a lot more than you take out.
You can't. You have to be earning about 35,000 to bring your.
Again, there are so many loopholes to your immigration policy.
It is. You don't know the figures.
Are you any clearer at home? No, is what I can hear you shout. Goodness gracious me. I'll leave you to unpick the bones of it and make your own conclusions. Coming up after the break, something else that's divided people, Palestine. Should the UK have recognised it as a state or not? I'll see you in 2.